All right. We'll post this in a few channels. Here. And we'll post it. I think here. Right? Holy moly. Showcase. Well, you know what? I'll just post this, and if they say that's not cool, then I'll remove it. You never know. Let me think here. Self promo, yes. Where's the one? Here it's called Show Your Stuff. Nah. Showcase? This might be okay. Wait a minute. Your project. I think this is fine. Devlog. Let me think here. Game project. All right. All right. Today we're going to be working on course constructor and where's that damn camera? It's fine. Isn't this already zoomed in? I can't tell. Whatever. Let me just. Oh. Okay. Let's begin. It's hard to know. I'm either like when I'm working, I'm too quiet, so I'm like, what? Why so hard? And the audio is crap. You know, I always thought I could make a good TV personality, but I fidget and fiddle around so much. I don't think I would. I need a mic that's just clipped on. I need a clip-on mic. This professional setup is terrible. It's the conditions. I can't work under these conditions. I don't want to learn new skills. Okay. Let me think here. So, this one's been in a bit of a pickle because I've wanted for a very long time. Whatever. I wanted for a long time to be able to implement a kind of track for this game that twists. The problem is linear algebra, because every time I would do that and I'd start trying to build off of it, everything would be in the complete wrong orientation. And I just flat out got tired of trying to do all the transforms and literally guessing because I thought I knew what I was doing. But every time I tried with an idea in mind, it never worked out correctly. So part of me is just like, I'm kind of through with that crap. To put it another way, I found a solution to the twisty problem, and that solution is don't have it. That's it. Let's literally get rid of it. I'm not going to have it. Yeah, that's all there is to it. What am I doing? I'm opening up. Track mode. It should be called build mode. Why do I call this track mode? That's not, doesn't make sense. Build mode. Because we're failed to load scripts. Big, yep, all right. Here, I'll load them for you, and then you can figure out where you are and what you're doing. Yeah, can't find this track mode. All right, that's fair enough. Whoop. There we go. All right, that's the only actual real problem we seem to have. Still, I'm going to open up all these scenes because, I don't know, sometimes it just flips out. It doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know how to operate. What else did I do? I did some re-importing. So now all these use the same color map. Apparently GLB files, even though they have the option to like set your own texture, what do you call it? Your own material file. It won't work. So I had to literally just export all of these as GLTF, which still feels redundant because like this is the same as this. Just a little different, a slightly different orientation. I don't know. I could, basically I could reduce the file size by removing some of these, but for now I just wanted to do just a straight 1-for-1 conversion. Okay. All right, so here's the test track builder. Oh, good. Now we're running into all the little issues. That's going to happen. Okay. So, yeah, we've got all kinds of track types, but not the twisty type. Maybe one day, somewhere far away where the grass is greener and software does what you want it to, not what you tell it to. And everything's just right as rain. But in the meantime, we live in the hell world of here and now, where software is just what it is. So let's see here. Is that it? Yeah. It's a little weird doing it this way. If I hit S, it should save. And then if we rerun it again and I hit L, haha, good. And then if, I was going to say, and then it'll be perfectly fine. It's still kind of choppy when it goes back, but like, at least it does go back. We can edit files. I still think, I've been thinking about it more, and I'm like, I kind of like the idea that if you've ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon, you still do like follow You tab through basically all the pieces, but you can go backwards and forwards, and you can you're like highlighting the piece, and you don't have to delete it to move or build to go forward. Um, and I feel like that's a better system, at least, that has like, hey, you know, maybe you just want to go through the track. You don't want to delete everything, or you want to delete a piece in the middle and do something else. But yeah, I think that might be really cool. That being said, it would have to be a very different system. I'd have to rewrite a bunch of things. And right now, I'd rather just finish up the prototype. So that was all really fun stuff. And what I have now, or what I'm working on, what we're working on today is the main menu. I want the main menu to... I love like 3D menus. I don't know why. I do. I like making them. There's something fun about them. Fun about something that can like move in 3D. And I thought it'd be cool to have like the start of the game. Like a lot of games will have your menu, or you could say your title screen, where you have like, you hit any button to start or hit the start button to start. And then you'll actually like get into the main menu or the game itself. And I wanted to have that kind of experience where you've kind of got one button, and maybe it's got just like a plain background or something. And you click the start button and it expands. And then on the like, how do I put this? When it expands, it becomes the background for like another menu. So, I gotta find paper that won't dox me in some way. Here, this is a cloth. Can you trace this cloth? So let's say you click the button, and it will expand just like this. And then it'll be the background, and then new buttons will kind of hover over it. And then you click one of those, and they expand. And then, of course, when you go back down the menu, or up, down the tree, up the tree, or whatever the hell you want to call it, then the menus shrink back and become a button again. I thought that would be just kind of neato, just because, I don't know, I don't want to say I've never seen that in another game, because, well, I don't think I have. I don't think it's fair to say it doesn't exist, because it probably does somewhere else. Regardless, I thought of it. I thought it would be neat to do, so I'm going to do it. Let me think here. So, yeah, we've got our menu with our start button. In fact, I need to have a test component for testing just the button. Let's see here. Test button 3D. I know for a while I had a 3D library, but it's feeling like it's a bit over-designed. I don't know. I might still use it, but it has that problem of like, it doesn't feel as flexible as I thought. It feels like there's still a lot of concrete implementations to extend it, which isn't bad per se. But then it just kind of has a lot of, I feel like, missing cases, or a lot of like weird issues that happen if like something is in one place and another thing isn't in another place, and it's I don't know, maybe it just needs more love, or maybe it's just like not great from the start. So I don't know. It'll take a little more work, though. For now, I'm just like, let's go ahead and just build things that we know work. Um, Build them as they should be, kind of out in the field, so to speak. And yeah. Whoops. Because even if we still want to have a library, it'd probably be best if we do this a couple of times. We're going to start seeing repeating behavior, and it'll be easier to build a library when you know the patterns and the procedures that typically work. If not, then you're trying to make a library based on basically an educated guess or assumption, and well, it hasn't turned out so well so far. So for now, let's see here. We're gonna do this. Stretch size 5 and 5. Okay. And what do I need in this test? I need something to... I think I need 2 things, actually. So, first things first, we need to handle focus changed. Actually, no, we don't. We have a visual indicator for that. But we do need to handle selected. I believe that passes button 3D. Is it? No, it doesn't do a value. That's right. Because I'm not going to do the selected changed. I don't think that'll work that well. I don't know if it'll make sense to do it that way. I think selected is just like you click the button and now it becomes a background. You shouldn't click the background. I want to disable that functionality. I don't want anyone to misclick trying to click a button and then they like go back down the menu and they're like, what the hell? So, you know, I'm like, no, you should have to click a button that says return, right? So if you open up like a sub menu, you need to click another button to go back to the original menu, which is why we're only going to have selection kind of go one way, right? You select, you expand. If we return, we would probably just have some kind of reverse function on the button or something. We'll build it when it's time. We're not going to over-engineer things. Okay. We'll try not to. Let's see. Select changed. I thought I changed you. I thought I called you selected. Yeah. Because I don't... I need to know what kind of button. Do we really not have a... Huh. Now that I think about it, I don't know if this will have a selected function. Let's see if it's focused and mouse is mouse button pressed left. There we go. There's some great music. I hope I'm not violating any copyright. Sorry. Okay. Let's see here. We need to have a... This is tween mask. I'm going to have one called tween resize. We'll pass a value. And let's see here. Size is what's the original size set to? Yeah, there's just size. Let me think here. What is it? What's the other one called? Stretch size. Stretch size if value is true, else I like calling it just size. Origin size and origin position. That makes more sense to me. Someone's vacuuming upstairs. Let's see, origin size. And now I'll create a tween. That's not what I wanted to do. There you go. No, not the material. Oh. Ouch. I guess it would be the... Wouldn't it be the mesh size? Maybe it's just demanding more. Let me think here. Resize duration. And that will be... I feel like I do... I don't know how fast I want that to be, actually. We'll see. Is that good? Mesh size? Yeah, I think that'll do it. So when we select, first things first, actually, our mask material needs to be reset. Oh, good. Okay. This should be 0. We'll just say no need for mask. Let's think here. X expand the button. You know, actually, I should also have is enabled. Everything will start off in a state of true, but let's see here. Becomes background. Do not interact. Now let's think here. Nah. If we'll only run this stuff if it's enabled. And that way we're not firing any other kind of functionality. I think these would be fine on their own. I don't think it'll have focus because I'm planning on that being managed in a different system. So every time you select a button, it'll return that, like I said, that new sub menu. And that menu will be, all those elements will be the ones you are able to focus on. Because this is an external call, same as this. So I don't think I'm going to have this do anything yet. I wonder actually if I should. I should. Is focused. Is value. And then we'll tween the mask of said value. Tween resize. True. In fact, let's think here. Expanding. Is expanding. Is focusing. I feel like that's a better name than value. Value is sufficient, I think, in a way, but like focus, value should be true or false. But this one is maybe not as clear why we would want it to be one and not the other. If not for anyone else, for me. That line of code will help me in the future. All right, let's see. Set up commands. Okay. These are things you can call externally. Okay. Yikes. You know what I forgot? Literally everything else that should be in a test. You know, like these. Whoops. There we go. All right, so we got a little bit of a tween for the mask. Woo, woo, woo. Still feels a little slow. Oh my gosh. Y'all, more cheap views. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness. Oh, and now I've pinned it because that's the only way to delete it. And okay, I thought I was going to be able to not delete it. And I was like, great. I have one chat. First chat of the stream, and it's a link to porno, and I pinned it. Can we have a delete this message without having to pin the message? Maybe that is a functionality. I just feel like it's really weird that that's like the option. Like it's an afterthought, you know? They were like, hey, oh my gosh, a real chatter. Hello, Vivex. Thank you for joining. You can? I kind of want to try with your message, but I've been here the whole time. Oh my god. Okay, that's ban. Sorry, I'm using you as an example. I'm trying not to click anything. I can see block. Maybe I'll look it up later. I don't know, there's usually one of those per stream at least. What am I doing? Like, I'm doing a thing. Might need to turn on mod icons. Oh. Is that part of OBS or is that part of Twitch? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Show mod icons. Well. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Oh, wow. I can send you a warning. Oh, no. The power's gotten to my head so quickly. I've already lost control. All right. Let me think here. What were we testing? Oh, yeah. This value is... I wanted it a little quicker. We don't need 2 decimals. Oh, right. Wrong one. Test this. Yeah. I feel like that's fine, actually. That's kind of snappy. Whoa. Okay, that's great. I did want to do one other thing, though. Stretching it, I think, is fine for now. I thought also it might look cool if if the mesh expands, but the image behind it is tiled. But I don't know how well that'll work. I mean, this is like an SVG. Let's see. Let me think here. Material. No, it won't be in transparency. Albedo. Height? No. Grow? What? What the hell is this? What do you mean grow? What? Goodbye. Okay, well, that's not it. Transform. I don't think it would be that. Billboard? No, that just follows the camera. Which not be. No, I don't want to do billboard. Okay, never mind. Might take more of a looking into, but for now, we do have the functionality that I was interested in. We have this that focuses. You click on it, it expands. There's one other thing that needs to happen, though. This expansion needs to move up just a little bit. And the only reason I need it to move up just a little bit is because I don't want it to be on the same layer as other meshes, right? Like if they're in a group, like they are here. In fact, maybe we can... What? Select... Oh, right. Yes. There we go. Handle selected. What do you want, man? Wait, what? Hold on. What? Invalid access to selected on base object message in 3D. You know what I hate? I honestly, I'm very getting real sick of. All right. Main button, 3D. Extends button 3D. Yeah? Button 3D. There's no selected button. What the? Oh my God. Okay. Well, now I know what the damn issue is. This isn't even a thing. No, that's menu selected. Where am I going? Button selected. What was the error it was throwing? What? No, not. Okay. Yeah, button selected. Invalid access to property key. Okay, invalid access. How about it doesn't exist? Invalid access. What we could do though is does that run on ready though actually? I think this just runs on its own function. Yeah. Setup components isn't great. Setup children I think is more clear because that's what we're doing here. All right. Handle selected. Oh, I get it. Right. Okay. We're going to do this from the top down like we were before. See, we already need some kind of select system to keep track. Because it's going to be like, which button did you click? I don't know. I know I'm getting upset. It's at this thing. Let me think here. Main menu. The main menu should only have... That's not the main menu. There you are. It should just have these. And we are going to do also. Get buttons. Array of main. I don't know, actually. Now I think about it, maybe it would make sense. If we have a focus system, we're probably going to hold on to that element. When we select, we're going to select that element. If we propagate a signal up from that into its like parent container. We just need to make sure only the parent container actually handles this event. You got to be careful we're not passing it all the way up. Because I don't want to have this endless selection loop or something weird happen. It's stuff like that's happened before. Let's just say notify. Notify the parent. Selected. And pass the self. Okay. You remember that handy dandy little ready function we had earlier? All right. For button and option. There we go. Let's see here. Button selected. All right, we are going to use this function after all. But we must be very careful. Okay, get buttons. I might just call it get options, actually. Because we don't know if what we're going to have is going to be a button. We might have some other kind. So I'll keep the name kind of vague for now. And then for now, we're literally just going to return all my children. The television series. What do you mean? Actually, I don't need this at all. Because we already option buttons. What? Why are you mad? Okay. If oh my god, yeah, what am I doing? For button in option buttons. If button is focused. This is really rudimentary, but again, we're just doing this for a test function. Wrong thing. Yeah, and I like that. Feels nice. Oh. Tell you what, we'll comment that out for now. We don't have that. We don't have these things ready. Whoop. Okay, that's good. We forgot two things. Well, first of all, you can see the problem with the layering. It's kind of handled it pretty well, actually. We don't have like a Z layering problem. But we do have a kind of layering problem. So, yeah, you see they're all on the same y-axis. But obviously, I don't want it to look like that. So, when we have the button, we're going to do a few things. We're going to resize it. We are going to move it forward, the whole thing. Position, Y. And That? Hmm. There we go. Target depth and same duration. We want all these to run at the same time. I kind of wonder. Set ease. Is ease out the one I'm looking for? Starts quickly and slows down at the end. Yes. Yeah. We need to change. There we go. All right, now instead of resize depth, actually we don't have to do this. Our target size will equal whatever the hell we just said. Stretch size. And our target position will be a vector 3. Should be a combination of things. It'll be, let's see. Origin size, origin position. However, if we're expanding, it'll be, let me think here, depth, resize depth. Oh, actually, that's good. We want it to be 0, 0. As it expands, we want to return to the middle. I'm just very upset about something. I don't know. And I think we have to set the ease here. I don't know if that'll do it for both of them. Isn't this just the next one? Yeah, right. Nope. That's why I hate white space languages. You can't format stuff nicely sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Whoop. Look at that. Beautiful. And now this isn't something we can focus on because it's a background. You see that? It's like a weird artifact. Well, whatever. This is great, actually. This is exactly what we wanted, you know? You click on one, whoop. The exit button, I don't know. I thought about maybe when you click exit, it expands, but then the image changes to like a middle finger, and then it exits the game. You know, one of those little Easter eggs. It wouldn't be an Easter egg. You would find it very easily, but it's sort of like, you're like, oh, I think I'll leave the game. It goes. What? I don't know. I think I'd get a kick out of it. All right. Okay. What do we got? What do we got? I'm liking all this. This is all nice. This is also part of why it's like I'm not using an easy to use library, but I am creating a fundamental element that's going to be reused a lot throughout this game. Every button will give you the finger whenever you click on it, which would honestly be really funny. I feel like it doesn't have quite that punk ass energy. I suppose we could give it that, but I haven't thought a lot about themes. I think it's because the assets are from something called Kinney Assets, actually. Let me look it up here. Assets. Yeah. So, all this stuff, free to use. It's fantastic. I believe so. I need to go over this license again. But it's, you know, waiving all rights to the work worldwide under copyright law. So I believe I can use this and sell a game. In no way are the patent or trademark rights of any person affected by CCO, nor the rights of any other person who the work is used. Unless explicitly stated otherwise, a person associated a work with this deed makes no warranties about the work, disclaims liability all users. When using or citing the work, you should not imply endorsement by the author or the affirmer. Not a legal instruments, a handy reference to understanding the legal code, human expression. Okay. Okay. Got stumped on reading legal speak. Look at this though. These are all really well made. And there's tons. Holy moly, like tons of assets. I think someone said this is like 13 years old. Yeah, more than 10 years. So, Kenny supported himself. And yeah, honestly, if you're going to make a game and you're like, I don't make art assets, go with this. This stuff's great. I think I saw a game made with this recently. A little rocket game. I'll have to look it up, but I don't know. I bought the whole damn pack. Why not? In fact, Course Constructor itself is using... Which one is it using? Toy car kit. Yeah. Look at that. These are the track pieces I am using for this game. Not all of them. The twisty one was... You know what? It sucks. It's terrible. Kenny, you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm kidding. No, I couldn't get it to work for some other reasons. The assets are great though, and I figured why not, Like this is out there. They've been put out there for free use. Yeah. Go for it. I'm going to keep donating though, that's for sure, because I'd like this to continue. I don't mind that, and I don't think Kenny does either. I mean, if they did, then that's something they must settle with themselves. But I think if they've been doing it for this long, they really want other people to use this stuff, and I think that's fantastic. I'd love to get to a point where I feel like I could do that and still have a stable income. I'd love to just make games for a living and not have to worry about bills, frankly. Anyway. What are we doing now? Now, we've got our main menu. Now we must create our other menus. Our other scenes. And that's actually part of why this, let's see, this is the main menu. Yeah, so that's part of why this has packed scenes and not just a type, because I want someone to be able to, me, but I wanted to be able to pass in, like, if we have an exit scene, pass that in. In this case, there's not going to be anything. Probably. But I'll add it anyway. I'll say exit menu. Who knows? Maybe it'll have a prompt in the future. Yeah. But even so, for now, let me think here. What is this? This is all components, menu mode, main menu, exit, settings. I'll just add them all now. Tracks and music, which is funny because that's also tracks. I thought it'd be funny to have courses and tracks, but then a user might also be deeply confused. Like, what the hell is a course? What's a track? I also thought it might be cool to have like tournament mode, but again, maybe in the future. Same with like multiplayer. Multiplayer, I think, would really seal the deal. But I thought it's probably best to just put out, the single player experience. And kind of get some feedback. I might be willing to work with a publisher or do some kind of like kickstarting thing if it feels like there's enough interest and I feel like I could make money. Like, okay, I'll work on the multiplayer, right? Like that'll be what the Kickstarter promises. Like course mode, multiplayer, that kind of stuff. For now, I think just setting the groundwork for like, here's how you build stuff, here's how you race, that would be what's most important. And if I did do something like that with publishing, like, I'd probably try to raise enough money to be able to like financially support myself to do this and pay for other artists. Which I always feel like I'm like conflicted about, but I don't think it's so wrong. If like studios are like, this is how much money we need, they're raising the money for their studio so they can afford to live, was the ironic thing. Like, of course, you can just ask for enough to pay for like other people to work. But if you're also working on it, I don't know. There's some part of my brain that's like, it's wrong for you to ask for money if you're going to do work on it. I'm like, why? Like, I would want to get paid if someone else was asking me to do this. Why am I uncomfortable, paying myself? There's something going on there. But we're, you're not my therapist. I'm not getting into that here. I'll get into that with them later on. Let's see. No, this is the testing thing. And I want to go to exit. So exit menu. I know it seems kind of silly to have a folder for one menu. But like I said, we will probably have some kind of prompt of like, are you sure you want to exit? We probably don't have to, frankly. I mean, all the saving is going to be done whenever you build or like race or do stuff like that. And depending on how quickly the game loads, I don't think it'll be really necessary to prompt people. Like in the past, like if I'm exiting Oblivion, that's a lot. Hell, I don't even know if that game has a prompt. Probably don't want a prompt. But I might do something else. Maybe that middle finger. Literally. Why not? Regardless, I think the functionality that I have so far with this menu is something I'm going to keep. Actually. What am I? Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, so these are all the buttons, and each button does have an enum. I also could have set it up to where each button was its own field, and then just say, hey, instead of passing like an option, just check if the buttons, like with if statements. I don't think that's so bad. If anything, it does reduce a little bit of code. But I also like the idea that I can just like set it here. I don't know. I don't think it's something to really worry about. Sometimes these little things just kind of get lodged in the brain, and they're very hard to get rid of, like a parasite. Yes. All right. Actually, what are you? Okay. It's funny because that's not what the exit menu should look like. Oh well. Okay, music menu. Again, we will just say music menu. And we'll save it in our music folder. This one I thought it'd be neat if we're gonna have I want to have a lot of music for this. And I also thought it'd be cool if people are able to make little playlists so that you can just set up the songs that you want. And, even like add, a duplicate, be like, play this song 3 times or 40. I don't know. I'm neurodivergent. Sometimes I want to listen to the same song 10 times. Maybe we just have songs that you feel like you could just jam out to and you don't like any of the other music, but I think a part of what I wanted this experience to be is to be able to share files, and part of it would also be like sharing, like, this is the course, but also maybe like this is, I don't know, like a whole package thing of like, here's the playlist and here's the course, here's the lighting. Like let someone else experience not just the race, but like what is the vibe you're trying to create? Because a lot of racing games, like I grew up playing a lot of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, the original one, and it's funny, I thought the music was a lot more like drums and bass, but apparently not. I listened to some of it recently and I was like, I hate this music. It's not all what I remembered it was, but no, I swear there was a lot of techno music. There was a lot of like cool electronic music, and it's not just the driving, it's not just the racing, There's a lot of racing simulators, and then there's like, it felt like Need for Speed was a lot of a vibe. It wasn't just car go fast. It was like you're in the Alps and you're listening to electronic music, driving a Lamborghini, And it's like, I don't know how to describe it. There are vibes. There's like one of them, it's like kind of in the desert, kind of in the city, it's sunset. Like that was like so important. And I feel like that also really sells it and would be cool if people could share that as well and be able to tweak that and experiment with that. Because essentially all this is like, um, I don't know. This is, I don't know if I can legally say this. So I will say it is akin to, but of course not legally affiliated with or related to, Hot Wheels. Because Hot Wheels has two parts. One, there's building the track, and two, you race on the track. This is like that. You build things and then you race. But I really did do think that having that vibe is just like really important and something that makes what would be kind of a bland experience a little more personal and a little more creative and fun. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I think all these things are doable. It takes time, but I don't think any of this stuff would be beyond me. If anything, the most important concern would honestly be some kind of security check or some kind of thing to be like, hey, yeah, someone's sharing a file. Okay, let's scrub through and make sure that like every little thing is safe, and this isn't just like, you know, check out this playlist, right? Check out these tracks. This is number one game tracks, and it's like just malware or something. So, but that being said, having control over this kind of stuff does help a lot in that regard. So we'll tackle that bridge when we get to it. For now, I'm just gonna create these little, I mean, I'm not even doing anything with them yet, but they're going to exist. And let me think here. What are you called? Track menu. Tracks menu? I don't like calling it. It's fine. It doesn't have to have the same S's. I get too particular over this stuff. So here we go. Tracks, settings, music. Here's our music scene and our settings. Again, these are all empty. I don't know why. The exit menu. I don't know why it looks like that, because that's not what it is. But we won't ask questions anymore. Okay. Here we go. Click. Oh, I realized what else would really help. Probably commenting this out so it actually runs. So that at least we're not going to get anything when we test it. But, oh! To type menu 3. Ooh. Menu selected is declared, but it's never explicitly used. Yeah, I don't care. I don't. Okay, that's fine. Nuts. Oh, you know what? Actually, no, there's a really good fix for this. So let's just create all our scripts and now we'll say menu 3D. And we'll do that for all of these. So our music menu. Let's close this for now. Oh, there's that. Music menu. Here we go. Music menu do-si-do. I'm going to apologize now for what I just said. You didn't hear anything. I'm very cool. I don't want anyone to think I'm a loser. And my definition of a loser is what I think other people think. I don't want other people to think that I'm a loser, so I don't want to think that other people will think that what I think they think is what I think they think a loser is. Which I'm not, I think. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Let me think here. New menu 3D. Okay, this should all check out. It's also why I like having these little test environments, because setting all this stuff up in one, I used to just have like test scene or demo scene where I would just throw everything together. But the problem is, even if you have everything in its own little components and stuff, there's still like stuff you just miss or make mistakes on. And when you have like, here's a little environment where I'm just going to test a button, hover over it, click on it. Is everything working fine? Good. Because it probably won't be when you first build it. And if everything is pushed into one big scene, then you're like trying to fix certain problems. But A, it's harder to figure out what's wrong because you're like checking a lot of stuff. And B, I feels like sometimes when we are used to things being together in an environment, we think of a solution of how to fix one problem with the whole block. And sometimes it's good to think about your solutions given the whole. But I think also sometimes we get so used to it that we don't think about it. So we just kind of put something without planning, without architecture, and then it just becomes kind of a little loose wire, and I've done this before, but it's basically you just get this, like, you end up with spaghetti. Nobody tries to make spaghetti code. It's like making a quilt where you think, oh, I'll just like weave all this fabric together over time. When in reality, it's sort of, you're just like putting threads here and there and here and there. Quilting and knitting tend to have certain patterns that you repeat constantly. If you were to make different things with different patterns and stitch them together, like, you still need to have some kind of plan on how you're going to do that. And what a lot of, I think, game dev and software can get into this problem where there's no plan, but we still need to build stuff and attach things. So we do so, but then it ends up being like a quilt where things are just kind of like strung together, and then you don't have a quilt. You just have like this weird clump of fabrics, tangled together. And that's what a lot of code ends up becoming when it's like spaghetti. There's functional good stuff. The problem is, the more spaghettified it gets, the harder it is to know what's honestly good and what is just there out of necessity for the spaghetti. Sometimes you take everything apart and you're like, I don't even need this one super important module. It was just holding it all together. So, there we go. Cool. All right. Let's do another test. I want to actually have in this test function, let's see, is key level pressed? Okay. This should actually, does this get printed? Well, I'll tell you what. We don't have a collapse function, and we should work on that. I wonder if we should have like a I realized something. When we select a button, we need to store that button in association with the menu that it's on. Because when that menu collapses, ultimately, remember, when we exit in a menu, we're really telling that button, hey, it's time for you to return. And then, we bring up that submenu. We need some way of storing our menus. An array of some kind, perhaps, of like, I'd say we need like a command pattern kind of thing, but I don't know if that's what we need precisely. Tell you what, for now, we'll keep track of which button is selected. And I just realized menus also should have like two functions. One which I think would be really cool, is like once you instantiate that menu, once it's ready, then all the buttons that are part of that menu, or anything that's part of that menu, is going to like appear in some way, some kind of animation maybe. But we need to like some kind of like turn on, like start up and then turn off, kind of like we're going back. I want all the buttons to go whoosh in reverse. So I could just say toggle on, toggle active. Which is, I guess, okay for now. What? Oh. What do you want? Right. Let's see. Toggle active, false. That's if we hit escape. And we want to make sure our selected button also... Where are you? You have a select function that does all this stuff. But I also want to have a... What happens when you deselect something? I don't want to call it a deselect because that's not really that. They're not directly interacting with it. We are shrinking it. Select it turns it into a background. And when a background turns back into a button, return. Oh, that'd be evil. Reset, maybe? Yeah. It's adequate. I don't feel like it's good, but it's adequate. Let me think here. Shrink the button to resize. And this time we'll pass false. It should return, get those original values back. I don't know of anything else we're going to do, but actually I do know of one other thing we should do, which is finished callable. I'll just say finished is a callable. And after this, we're going to have a callback. We're just going to call finished. We're going to pass it through, whatever it is. Okay. Handle expand finished. Handle shrink finished. Honey, the kids. There we go. Finished. Finished. What are you mad? What? Whoa. Holy moly. Okay. There we go. Now we have functions that are going to tell you what this is going to do actually. This will notify the parent that it's been selected. We want it to expand and then the buttons move in. Right now, technically what was happening is that it's clicked. It's starting the expand, but then it's also immediately calling the signal to say it was selected, which activates the next menu to load in. And we don't want everything to occur at one point. We want these things to happen in layers, like that. And then like that kind of thing. Just, chop it up a little bit. Give it a bit of rhythm. Oh, I sound like a producer or something. Yeah, I like that. Give it some soul. I don't know. I mean, it's true, though. The little changes you do can have a drastic effect. So here we go. When the shrink is finished, enabled is true. And yes. Should we emit a signal? I don't know yet. Probably. We'll see. Okay. Here's button again. A little bit of notes. So let's think here. We finished. We'll call whatever that callable is. I wonder if I should put these down here. Everything's a bit sloppy. This is kind of like not how you would normally organize code. But I'm evil. That's it. There's no other explanation. Okay, yeah. This is just to make sure the mask is at 0 because it's usually selected. We enable it. Might call another function. But this will help us reset. And shush. Our main menu. Let me think. Where's our test? Yes. Selected button. Reset. Look at that. There we go. I don't know if I should set this to null again. Because technically nothing will be selected. So I'll do that. Current menu toggle active false. Current menu and current menu Toggle active is true. Right, so again, this signal will fire. It's technically not when it's selected. It's when the selection process has finished. I'm fine with keeping it this way for now, even though the naming is not entirely clear. Like, it'd be like handle menu. Handle menu button selected animation finished. That's too much. I hate that. And I hate you. I'm kidding. Let me think here. Oh, yes, we have the layer depth, which also is just a little higher. And we set the new current menu. We toggle active. Yeah, and all the other menus won't. Okay, maybe active isn't a great name for the function of this. Because active typically means you're going to be involved. We're not toggling the activity or the ability to act upon. We are toggling animations. Here's the thing. Hitting toggle animation doesn't quite tell us that we're activating it. Oh, hi. Anonimo Productions. Hello there, first time chatter. There's a button next to. Oh, that's your icon. I thought that was a mod option. I was like, what is that? Hi. I don't know how long you've been there, but it's good to have you. I'm trying to figure out what to do for this function name. Because a menu may not be in focus. Like if we select an option, right, and we bring up the new menu, the old menu's buttons are still technically there. We're not going to be focusing on them. About 29 minutes. You've been there for 29. Well, sorry to miss that. How are you? I'm doing pretty well, relatively speaking. Can't admit menu changed. Really? That's because it's menu selected. Oh, what do you know? Oops. Glad I caught that. Okay. There's menus that are in focus, and we will have a system to handle what items are selectable. Now that I think about it. What are you making? I'm making something called Course Constructor. That's at least the project name. I think it's fine, but I'm like, I could probably make it maybe something more zeitgeisty. Or not, who cares? I mean, Gmod isn't a very zeitgeisty name, but it's very popular. I suppose it really doesn't matter too much. It's more marketing thing. I'm basically making, but not legally, the same or affiliated with Hot Wheels, the game, so to speak. I need to stop saying that. I'm going to get in trouble. I can't equate it to any other thing. It's like I thought of a game. Originally, I saw Just a moment. I gotta mess with something in the background. I was gonna jingle my cup, but there's no ice, so it's just liquid. All right. There is an asset pack that I'm using called Toy Car Kit from Kinney Assets. I would recommend. Sorry, that's the. Where do we go? Assets. There we go. All free to use. Fantastic work. I saw these and I thought, boy, wouldn't it be fun to make a game where you're like building a track like Hot Wheels and then you get to race on the track? So that's basically what I'm working on. Yeah, here's some of those games. I knew I saw some. Look at that, street cars. Someone's already made a game for this. Well, I say that this looks different. It looks fun. But anyway, wait, it's called Car Keys? Key Cars. Why did I say street cars? It's a car game, whatever. Yeah, there's all these different games made with these assets, and I don't know if these are all Game Jam related. No, I don't think they have to be. I should add mine onto here, actually, when I do this. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to make a little game like that. And right now I'm working on all the UI. I want the UI to be 3D. I want it to be something that, well, actually, I'll show you. It might crash because we just added some code and I don't know if it will work. Oh, look at that. Object nil. What do you mean? Wait, did you? Oh shit, there's no current menu. Okay, well, change that real quick. Actually, no, we don't have to do anything at all. This is a test function. I'll just say it's the. Can I say it's the main menu? Okay. It's gonna work like this. You've got all these little buttons. These are in 3D. And then it crashes again, and it says, I don't know what current menu is. Okay, you know what? Current menu is the main menu at the start. Fucking please. It is the same name as a declare. Oh. Lol. That's an issue, huh? We're doing game development, and in typical any kind of development fashion, it's painful. But yeah, look. So you click a button, it becomes the background to a new thing. And I'm wondering, actually. 5, active true. What the hell? Where does that 5 come from? Okay, so we can click on that. If I click, yes, you can still click the other options, which is bad because we don't want those buttons to be interactable. Okay, whenever we... Sorry, I have foot pain. I just pressed my foot in a weird way. Whenever we toggle active... Let's see. Disable options. And we'll just pass this for now. But actually, what I like to do is just pass in an error. Say error. Function disabled options must be overridden. There's no real override here. I don't think there is. No. No. There's no override ability, sadly. But one thing I like to do is just put a print. So if it doesn't get overwritten, I'm going to get something out in the console that says, hey, you shouldn't this shouldn't be called at the base level. It should be called here. So let's see here, the main menu. Disable options. And the reason why we call it where it's implemented, because only the implementations have the options themselves. And I'd like to keep it that way, because this one has buttons. Some of them might have other things, and we need to make sure we just manage all those in their right place. Option buttons, and we'll say button. Is there just a disable? No, we'll just say is enabled is false, which is okay. No, it's not. I was angry. Enable. Whoop. Now everything starts out by default enabled. One thing we can do is just say well, for now, we'll just pass in the value directly and call it a day. And whenever where are you? Here you are. We'll say enable false. Cool. And now, whenever we So now I think about it, maybe disable options. Toggle options. Enableability. Whatever. I just do that. Cool. Hope it doesn't expect me to. No, I can call it whatever I want. All right, cool. Here we go. And instead, we'll just pass in a toggle. So when we're toggle active, we will pass in that value. So now, when we activate toggle active, which should be available for every menu, every specific menu will utilize this function, overridden from its base, and we will simply deactivate or inactivate. D or inactivate. Yay. That's great. So toggle active. What I could do is have okay. I could have a second separate function called like toggle animate. Or yeah. I was going to pass in another variable, but no, I think that would actually be really bad. So there's toggle activate, and then there's toggle animate. It's not great because it doesn't say what it's animating, but like we are animating the sort of load in or load out. So there's a very loud noise. I thought my cat said knock something over. All right. Yeah. It's probably fine, right? Handle selected. Put this up here. Toggle animate value. Cool. We'll pass in a void. One moment, chat. Okay. Where were we? Animations. Yes. So I want everything to go whoosh, swoop in. Huh. Which actually means that when they start, they should be further away. How far away? I do not know. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on a minute. Save. There we go. Oh, wow. Still barely visible. Well, okay. Hopefully that's better. I also want them to be a little vertical. Just a bit. Kind of an X when they move in, but not exactly, just a little bit. These should go up. 2 more. Yeah. All right. So no, we're in a tricky pickle, aren't we? The buttons remember their original location. So actually, what are you mad about? What is it? Oh, right. Lol. These are all going to start off invisible. Actually, the whole thing will just be invisible. They're going to start here. And then when they animate, we're going to tell them, here's your position, and you're going to swoop in. And then when they leave, they're going to start in the middle and move out. And hopefully we can maintain the order of what we're doing. Now we're screwed. It all goes downhill from here. I can feel it. All right, so how do I put this? Outer limits. That's just a TV show. Actually, I don't know what to call this. Whatever. Oh, whoops. 8. No, actually, screw that. It'll be a vector 2, and we will say 8 for the X, 5 for the Y. Yeah. Okay. When we animate everything, can I tween multiple objects in one tween? going to find out. Yeah. Okay. So first things first, we're going to create a tween. No. First things first, we're going to have a target. That will be a vector 3. No. No. Mm. Tell you what, let's do it very basically. Okay. Animation. No. For button in option buttons, position is going to be, fuck. We can't just do that. We have to do each button individually. Maybe I should handle this at the button level. I don't know if I want to, because I don't know if they're all going to do the same thing. In fact, I know they're not, so I should handle it at the parent level. See, now all I can think about is it'd be nice if I had control over each of the buttons individually. Because I have to make them go to different spots. And I could loop through like a for loop or two to give it a different location, but like... Huh. I'm thinking. We'll choose the dynamic approach for now. Okay, now to do this the correct way. First things, we'll need to create this tween. Now, at the start, we'll have to create a starting position. And that will be the button's current position plus something, not y, something else. And end. Another vector 3. And once again, it'll be the button position. No. The origin position will be the end. When we tween, in fact, I need to set this up here. Tween set parallel so that they all run at the same time. Tween property for the button, the position, and set the end. Animate duration. Okay. You're mad. Well, whatever. All right, what is X? X is... We're going to ask for the button's current X. If it's negative, I know what to do. I know what to do, baby. We got to be careful about this. The button's positions should be 0 on the Y. If we multiply... No. Tell you what. I'll just... I'm going to have to do it all from scratch. Plus the outer limit X. Just another 0. Button position Z. Plus the outer limit Y. And there we go. Probably don't need to declare a new variable, frankly. Why are you mad? Path is vector 3. Whoa! There you go. Cool. In fact, we'll set the current position equal to this adjusted position. No, not times. If it's negative, it'll expand by that negative number. If it's plus, it'll just move purely in the positive direction. And I don't have to check for positive, negative, negative. Blah, blah, blah. So instead, we're just going to say multiply it because the position is already close to 1. And 8.8 is not so bad. You know, I don't mind it. Yeah. So we set the new position for each button, and then we tell it to move back to its original position. But if we're going the opposite direction, then what we're going to do is basically the same thing, except not at all. I'm kidding. We're going to call this target. So button position, we'll make sure it equals the original position. It should, but anyway, there we go. So that should do it. It's like a bit repetitive code-wise, I know. What really changes here, actually? It's this. Let's think here. Oops. Target is vector 3. Cool. So keep it somewhat orderly. We set the position, then the target. And now this can also be at the back end. I wonder if we can get a little function in here, just a tad. Get animation target. And value. What is the value in this instance? Toggle animation. If we're true, we're animating inward. In fact, we can call it that. Inward and outward. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. All right. So let's see here. There we go. Oh no. Oh, animate positions. Look, all I want to really do is take this whole if statement. And put it in here. If inward, and instead of target, we're going to return. Okay. So we're setting the button position. Animate position. I mean, that's not even animating the position. It's more like configure animation positions. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. You configure animation positions. We will pass in the button, and we will pass in the value of inward or outward. And then that target is where we're aiming, and where we should be beforehand is already set up by this function. So there we go. That's it. We'll put in a few comments. Position on the outside. Start in the off. End on the on. Open. You know what? Not just open. Opening. Opening. Is opening. It's a Boolean. End on open. Start on closed. And same thing here. Except we're going to start on open. And we're going to end on closed. Yes. Yes, I see it now. Toggle animation. I think opening, I like makes sense in that they're not all going to be sliding in. Some of them are going to like flip around. Some of them are going to come to the side, which is the same thing. But I want to sort of, there's an open and closed animation. You know, there's open is where they are, closed is off screen or something where you don't see them. So we got toggle animate and we have toggle active. Now when we're here in our test menus and we toggle active, we will first turn it off and then we will toggle animate. We'll also pass false if we hit the escape key. So we're leaving. I wonder who sets the current menu after this is done. This is so sloppy. Anyway, if a button is selected, we are going to go to main menu and we're going to toggle animate. No. We're doing that after the selection is finished. Toggle activate, toggle animate, technically. Might even want to on animate finished, frankly. Probably. Yeah. Menu 3D, menu selected. Is open. And then in our main menu, here's what we'll do. Set parallel to false. I'll have a callback. Let's see. Handle selected. Figure animations, positions. Toggle options enabled. Right. And we're passing in. What are we passing in? Actually, we don't have to do that. I can just pass it. We might have a value for this stored later, but for now, we will pass in this value. And when we call it, we can bind it on animation finished. Not the value. Is opening, because once we're done, is opening will be open. And if is opening is false, we're closing, and then open should be false. Yes. I'm going to say handle animation finished. Yeah, sure. Okay. My curtains are flapping. Just thought you should know. Oh. Whoops. Ah. Everything's a mess. It's a disaster. Main menu, animation finished. Menu selected. All right. Had enough of this. What? Oh, right. There's handle menu selected. And then there's handle. Ooh. We got to be careful with this because we're going to animate the current menu. My real question is, once we go backwards, because animation finished, if a menu is selected, the new one should activate, yeah? The real question is, once we go back down, we have a menu that's going to be animating away. And we'll probably say the current menu I don't know. If we exit it, then there's selected a menu. And then there's like step back or return. Escaped. left, handle left, menu, handle menu left. Menu selected, menu. Reversed. Backpedal. Counter, converse, inverse. We have something is selected, and then when it's deselected. Exited. I'll just say exited. Fuck it. When we've exited the menu, we're going to take the current menu and we're going to animate backwards. Oh. Why do I call it main menu? This other function. Is opening. Okay, so when we call this, we're going to say oh yeah. We exit the menu. This is where we're having like a stored list of like all the menus would be useful. Because ultimately we would need to call upon that previous list. But once we animate, we say false. Ultimately, this value will be passed into here. So it should also be active false, except it... I don't need this. Literally, I'm calling it right here. Oh, right. This is the current menu disabling, leaving, the selected button, returning. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. I'm probably going to take another break in a minute here. This whole feels starting to feel a little messy in my mind. Actually, you know what? Main menu. Huh. On ready will animate inward. Hmm. Okay. Good golly. All right. That was fast. Is there a slower version of that? Slow it down. Um, no. Uh, doesn't this? I'm falling asleep. Oh. Oh, I don't like leaving this at this place. It's not even activating selected. Oh no. Never used. Animation finished is never used. Is opening is never used. Yeah, I hear you, but I don't care. Um. Oh. All right, let's test at the highest level here. We'll test here. We'll test here. This should work. We'll test it slower. Okay. Huh. That's weird. I got a phone call. I'm falling asleep. I'm gonna BRB and be back in a little bit. Okay. Man. Sorry, it's been a while. I thought that was going to go by a lot faster. Oh. Let me think here. Oof. I might cut it short. I don't know. I'd like to at least figure out why this is failing. All right. Toggle activate. I wonder if toggle animate happening in the ready function, like it's... Yeah, okay. So, maybe this is the problem. So instead, we're just going to say... S for start. I don't know. Let's see. No, they're in the wrong spot. No, wait a minute. That was fine, actually. But if I hit S, it's not doing anything. Jesus Christ. The overhead fan is going bazonkers. Toggle animate. Yeah. What? Array size 0. What the fuck? What? Why? What? All right. No. No. It's not. Dude, don't fucking... Don't reset my arrays. I don't like how it does this, where it's like, oh, yeah, your scenes, yeah, they're all fine. The array, though, no, fuck that. I have to wait. Why did you reset it? What the hell? Okay, well, okay, so it might not even have been a problem here. The other thing we need to make sure we do is once we finish. Ensure we can see the menu. Yeah, we don't want to actually. So, if we are closed, set to false. Because one needs to handle it at the start of the animations, the other one needs to do it after the animation. Okay. What? All right, hold on a minute. Yeah, all right. With that, let's just make sure. Oh, yes, of course, my old friend. Yeah, all right. All right. I knew it wasn't that. Let me think here. All right, let's make this much faster now. Whoop. Oh, that's nice. And then you click one, and it's cool, and you shouldn't be able to click the others. Toggle animate must be overridden. Really? All right, we got some other issues. All right, first of all, this mesh. I wonder if instead of meshing it, I should scale the entire thing. Now, that would affect our ability to do any kind of tiling for now, but it would also make sure that the entire thing is meshed. But also, these other buttons should be disabled regardless. Also, why are you... Toggle animate must be overridden. Disable options must be overridden. Didn't I? Wait a minute. Oh. There we go. Where's that called? Toggle activate. Is that because whenever we have a new test menu, toggle animate. When it's done, we toggle active. Right, we don't have anything to do. Okay, that's fine. What I'm not okay with though is does this fire? I'm kind of wondering, like, are you firing when you're touching the other buttons? There's only one way to know. All right, selected exit button, settings button, and exit and tracks and that's funny. Now it's selecting all of them. They're all getting focused, but they're not leaving focused. And didn't I disable you? Actually, maybe I didn't. I know selected. Prep next scene. Menu selected. I thought you were called somewhere. Maybe I don't call it anywhere. Maybe I just wrote this and didn't use it. All right, when we select a new scene, we should immediately disable other options. False. Pass up new menu. I kind of wonder. Toggle animate. Right. Handle animation finished. This is where we'll toggle all the activity. Enable options. Okay, now this is an else statement. Yeah. We call it on, we call it off. And I'm even going to copy it, and we don't have any matching statements. Okay. Toggle options enabled. Yeah, I guess we didn't call it. All right. Now, we're still getting errors. All right, let's test this again. Selected music. Still getting the music button, though. That's funny. This should be disabled. I don't know why it's, huh. Oh, you know what? It's the on-mouse exit. It's not firing. So when we focus, or when we select, and we're going to disable some of this stuff, just disable it as well. All right. Here we go. We've selected the exit menu, and now there's no more selecting of anything, which is good. That's what we want. And of course, it's still giving us problems because the exit menu doesn't have an animate. And ooh, look at that. These aren't enabled anymore. The exit button's fine. And then hitting escape causes it to flip the fuck out. Reset on base, no. What do you mean? Did this not run? Nothing. Okay. Nothing. If we click this again. Maybe we like did it too fast. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is interesting. I wonder why it does that. Is it because it, yeah. Does it wait for this? For a callback? We're passing at a callback. It shouldn't. Well. Let's see. Parallel is just runs parallel. All right. Huh. Well, we can just do that. It's a bit cheap, but also kind of perfect. And that way we know we'll have a selected button. No, we don't. Still a fucking problem, huh? Okay, well. All right. I liked it this way before because it made sense. Still, it's weird. This is like nil. I'm like, how? Oh. Huh. should watch out for that one. Yeah, nil. No reset on nil. I'm like, buddy, I don't know what to tell you. You just said it. We just clicked this. Huh. Well, here's another problem. Why isn't toggle active? Toggle options enabled. Yeah, what the hell, man? Uh-huh. I mean, it runs for all of them, yeah? Because they're all clearly workable. Oh. Would you look at that? This doesn't run again. Why? Why? Handle animation finished. Yes. Toggle animate. Oh, fuck, because the button is being reset. So the button itself needs to notify when it's done resizing. Handle shrink finish. Looks like we do need to, yeah. Notify parent of... I don't fucking know. So we got selected, and then we'll have a signal that says returned. I can't have a signal called reset because that's actually a function. Resetted. Nah. Whatever. Returned. I don't really know how else to put it. Let's see, handle selected. Be a bit of a weird one. I don't like that. I don't want to call it returned. Return is like already a term. We're not returning the button. I mean, we are returning it to its original state. But what else are we doing? We are resetting it, reconfiguring. Selected whenever the expand is finished, when the shrunk is finished. You know what? Okay. Button again. I know. I know, but hear me out. I don't know what else to fucking call it. I think that's okay. Handle button again, and we're going to toggle options, enable true for our options. Yes. Are you upset about something? Mixed use of tabs and spaces. There you go. Okay. Click. All right. All right, buddy. Come on. Do I really? Ah. I kind of wonder maybe if we should have a function called like is transitioning. Yeah. Is changing menus. It's false. It's false by default. So whenever we select something, is changing menus will be true. And finally, after this is done, we'll set this back equal to false. And make sure that we're not doing that while we're changing menus. So now if I click one of these, I can't hit escape. I can't hit escape at all. Because there's no animate. Okay. Fair. Maybe I'll do it here. I mean, it's like still changing menus, but oh, I don't know how to put it. Oh, something happened. Yeah, I swear there's some screwy about this crap. Now, hold on a minute. Now you're just not working. Hold on. This isn't a great way of doing it at all, actually. Well, it is what we wanted, even if it needs to be one more check for if our mouse is here after we finish animating a button to check if the mouse position is inside our mask. But I'm gonna eat lunch, so let's see. We did it. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty worn out. I don't know if I'll do the Raylib stuff. I got some other things I got to do. And this took longer than I thought, and the errands did. So, long story short, I'm going to call it here for today, probably. But hey, thanks, Vivax and Anonimo Productions for stopping by. So, yeah. Have a good one, and don't forget to try something